Okay, good. I should have oh, excuse me. Should have a very clear mic list, but anyway, what's going on, guys? It is Cooper88, also known as Steve. Sorry about my voice. Give me a second. Let me get some water. Ooh. Man, I got the hiccups now. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. There we go. That's a little bit better. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, don't you just hate when, like, you get a frog stuck in your throat? Like, you get that feeling. I hate that. But anyway, actually, so let me get a couple of things out the way. I'm sure most of y'all are like, oh my god, Steve, you're finally posting. What's up? What's happening? Don't freak out, guys. For those of you that actually did worry, don't freak out. I didn't leave you guys. It's just the last couple of weeks have been pretty rough. You know, I've a lot of stuff going on. Like nothing bad, but it's just like, you know, my schedule at work has been getting flip-flopped. They're trying to work on getting my transfer at work done, so that way I don't have to keep, because I have to drive, or at least be driven, I should say, like an hour or so away, and it's just all the other stuff going on between, you know, myself and my mother. Her new job takes her, you know, all the way up into, like, you know, the next county or two, and a bunch of, like, other stuff. So it's mainly, guys, I've just been having to get up super early, and on my days off I've just crashed. So I don't want you guys to start panicking and freaking out and going, oh my god, you know, Steve, what happened? You know, you're finally posting. No, between that and I've been clearing out my phone, getting a lot of photos from the last wrestling event that I went to, prepping all those videos on my, for those of you that follow my main channel, I've been doing like all the unboxings and stuff that I did for like practically a year and a half. You know, all the time-stamped videos, so I need to get those out the way. I'm going to see if I can try to later on in the evening before I go to bed and get up for work tomorrow to be able to get the rest of those finished off for you guys. And a lot of people who follow my main channel that I work with are just like, Steve, why are you posting 7-8 videos all at once? And why are they all like old videos? I said, I'm sorry. I said, you know, the internet here in the apartment I live in is a lot better than what it was when I lived at the house. And speaking of the house, that's something else I've also been busy with. Been making 1 or 2 trips and trying to help organize everything, get more stuff unpacked and whatnot. And just in general, guys, I've been very busy. That's the short summarization of it. I've just been pretty busy, and I know most of y'all are probably just like, Steve, you know, talk and play the game at the same time. Okay. Well, anyway, guys, welcome back to Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishment. We are in the Kew Gardens drama. And the last episode that we did, we were talking with the son of the owner of Kew Gardens, and we're in the exhibition hall where he not only had died, but where some rare plants were taken. So Sherlock is very invested in figuring out what happened here.
The plants were here. All of them were stolen.
So let's walk around, guys, and see exactly what we can find. Let's see what's on our list.
Here is a list of the stolen plants.
So we're gonna mosey around, guys, and see what we can find. But yeah, guys, that's nothing bad happened.
Do not touch.
Yeah, nothing bad's happened, guys. I've just been super busy, that's all. Dealing with a lot of different things. And for those of you that
According to Albert, this is where his father, Montague Dunn, was found dead.
Albert Dunn and his father Montague.
soil. It should have come from a flower pot. The soil on the side of this flower shelf is the same as that on the ground. Fragments of a flower pot. It fell down here. The traces are thinner in some places. These boot marks are fresh. It appears as though someone was dragging their feet. The footprints reveal that someone staggered here.
Anyway. And
this sign is broken. Something heavy was dropped upon it. Blood. Someone fell violently against this sign, and they were injured in the clash. Most likely a head wound. This pot was broken fairly recently. A flower pot recently fell down from these shelves and was misplaced. The esconsson was breached near the handle.
So that's what they call that part of the door that locks the bolt. An esconsson. See, we're learning things, guys. I know. Because even I didn't know that. I forgot about that, yeah. It's a weird sensation to solve a mystery and yet learn something new at the same time.
This door handle is new. It was recently changed. The door was smashed at shoulder height. The door was forced from the inside of the Colonial Collection Room. The handle was changed afterwards.
I think we need to inspect the Colonial Collection Room.
All the clues around here are quite suspicious. I need my imagination to make sense of it all. Very strange. Half of the Colonial Collection is absent. These windows were perfectly cleaned.
But anyway, yeah, I've just been busy, guys. I don't want anybody to freak out and think that I left. No, but I'm getting stuff done on my main channel. As far as those of you that follow my comic writing, I have not written in a very, very long time. Like, I've worked on my own stuff, but I've mainly been just doing a lot of research and stuff again, like going back to basics. That's not to say that I won't ever, like, write again. I do. I want to.
This broken fragment was the result of a heavy blow. A fragment of marble, most likely chipped from a statue or sculpture.
But I don't want you guys to think... I mean, I am going to write, I am going to do all these things, but the way I look at it with everything going on as I've just described...
The smell is strong. It is a detergent. Part of this greenhouse was emptied and thoroughly cleaned.
Here we go.
This is one of the outlets of the ventilation system.
So I don't want you guys to worry about me. And I don't think you will.
This reconstruction reveals a disturbing fact. Montague Dunn damaged the door of the Colonial Collection Room.
He was in a panic, or the door was locked. Was it an accident, or a murder then, I wonder?
Intriguing indeed. Yeah, I'm trying to slowly get back into writing. I'm looking at a lot of other things. And as far as the Twitch situation, I told you guys that I would look into Twitch.
Greenhouse.
I would look into Twitch. I have not done a whole lot of research on it, to be honest, and I've looked at other things. I mean, I pretty much can set everything up, guys. I don't...
According to this, they have light
I
and
just haven't...
moisture control and...
I just haven't got around to checking it out because, like I said, I've been busy. But otherwise, guys, I'm good. I'm okay. Tired, but good. Can't really complain too awfully much, but I do wish things would be a little bit better.
Can I help you, gentlemen?
I think everybody wishes for things to be better. Okay, let's...
do you work here?
Yes, but part-time only. For I'm also studying botany at the University of London.
You're following in your father's footsteps, then. That is commendable.
Well, even if botany is not my strongest suit, there are people who say that I could be a good manager.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
Excuse me, but I have to tidy up this room.
Locked. Locked. Albert told us about the tragic death of Mr.
Tragic indeed. His heart...
Would you unlock the doors for us?
Do you expect to find the stolen plants there? I am sorry, but those rooms are private.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation. Locked.
Just be careful with the plants.
Something about that doesn't exactly ring right to me. Okay, so let's go to Scotland Yard and go do an
I asked
autopsy.
Inspector Lestrade to take Montague Dunn's body to Scotland Yard.
It's ready for autopsy, then.
Sorry about the crunching. I have like a small bag of Funyuns right next to me. I'm trying not to... I always make it a cardinal rule not to eat during streams. But...
A membership card for the London Crest Club. A beautiful feather pen of a good make. This watch is of great value. First of all, let us carry out an external examination. No redness, stings, or bruises. Nothing suspicious here.
I try to make a cardinal rule not to eat on stream, but sometimes I can't.
There is an injury to the skull, most probably caused by the fall in the water lily greenhouse. The vessels and the pupil of the eye appear quite normal. The air from the lungs carries a faint floral aroma. There are no suspicious marks upon the chest. Let us finish our external examination so that we can proceed with the autopsy. Now, let us examine the internal organs. The stomach tissues show no visible pathological signs. There is a small amount of content. It appears that he breakfasted lightly, only a short while before his death. The liver is enlarged. It would seem that he was suffering from an alcohol addiction. The liver tissue is brown. There are no visible pathological signs. The lungs are congested and edematous. The tissue on the inferior lobe of the right lung is damaged, most probably caused by toxins from an unknown plant.
I just love how slappy it is. Like, watch. Like, I'm sorry, human organs don't come out this clean. I know it's a video game, but still, that's... that's just creepy.
The heart's blood vessels show no pathological signs. The heart tissue shows no visible pathological signs.
It's like meat slapping.
Suspicions have been substantiated. Montague Dunn, the director of Kew Gardens, died from poisoning. Plant poisoning, to be more exact.
You mean...
Yes, it is murder.
We should inform Lestrade.
Yes, but do remember, Watson, that I discovered the murder. The challenge is mine.
The challenge, Holmes?
We need to locate that deadly plant. Such a perfect murder appeals to me.
Murder of any kind appeals to you. Is that all we need to do?
No. We also have the people working at Kew Gardens. Martin Hamish and the son of the victim, Albert Dunn.
And also Miss White, of whom we spoke with Mr. Hamish. Should we bring them all here for interrogation?
No. A few innocuous questions at Kew will suffice, as well as a discreet delve into their personal affairs. Yes, Watson, it is time now to open the doors.
Even those in the staff building? I suppose that is necessary.
We should also be concerned with the victim himself. After all, we don't know very much about Montague Dunn.
You're enjoying this already, aren't you?
More than a little.
What the... I don't know if you guys heard that, but somebody apparently outside of the apartment just started honking their car. Oh well. Okay. Well, first let's go back to Baker Street and do an archive list. Consult the archives and get stuff done. Somebody's honking out there. No, I can't see anybody from my window, guys. Who knows? People do very weird a-hole-ish things.
Here it is.
Okay, so we're connecting the dots. We're getting into it, guys. Oh. You guys aren't supposed to see that. That's from the Half Moon Walk case. Okay, let's get this done.
Mr. Hamish, can you explain to us what happened to the colonial collection? It seems somewhat depleted.
But, most likely maintenance work, tidying up.
You're not sure, then? But you're the deputy director.
Well, I am busy. I cannot be everywhere at once.
As deputy director, how is your relationship with Montague Dunn?
To be honest with you, Mr. Holmes, it could have been better. You see, every Tuesday he would carry out his inspection of the gardens, but it was solely to make an impression, great pretense that he cared at all. He would give out absurd orders, ignoring anyone else's opinion. He would then disappear for the rest of the week. He was what some might call a man of action. I'd say rather he was overzealous and chaotic. So, after all, it was no wonder, perhaps, that he ended up like that, if you take into consideration his kind of lifestyle.
You mentioned that Mr. Dunn led a particular lifestyle.
Well, it's no secret that he enjoyed, celebrating, shall we say. He was a member of the London Smart Set. He was famous for it. That
And...
he had an eye for the ladies, to put it mildly, Mr. Holmes.
What is your opinion of Albert as a student of botany?
He's useless. I often tell him so, and I can only give him cleaning tasks. Botany is not his life's work, and his father well knew it. He was furious about it.
He was?
Oh, yes. He forced his son to work here, and he never missed an opportunity to criticize him publicly.
Are you able to elaborate on that?
Well, for example, with our last exhibition here, Mr. Dunn had Albert make a presentation speech. But then, while the lad was speaking, Mr. Dunn interrupted him, asking him difficult questions, making him look like a failure. It was with the intention of making a fool of him, Mr. Holmes.
That must have been terribly humiliating.
Yes, he was crushed, and he had to leave. Everybody was making fun of poor Albert. That is, except for Miss Margaret White, who is such a nice lady and who always takes pity on Albert.
Tell me, Mr. Hamish, do you grow the more deadly variety of plant here?
You mean insectivorous? Yes, but nothing larger than that.
You mentioned a Miss White. Would you tell us more about her?
She is a student who works here part-time. She is quite charming indeed. She possesses a great talent for botany. You should take a look at some of her experiments that she carried out in the laboratory. Ah, if only she were not so naive.
Why naive?
The way she used to flutter around Mr. Montague Dunn. And he couldn't help but be flattered by all her attention. How could an intelligent woman such as Miss White not see through his game? I can only scratch my head and wonder.
Mr. Hamish, can you tell us who holds the keys to the locked greenhouses?
That would be Albert, Mr. Dunn's son. Yes, Albert keeps all the keys, and one can only imagine why.
What do you mean?
Well, he was never interested in Kew Gardens before, and now all of a sudden he is trying to act as if he owns the place. I think he wants to take over the management here. He'd do better to leave that to me. He has no experience. No, none at all.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
Sounds like somebody's a little butthurt and bitter.
Who is Miss Margaret White?
Ah, she is the young lady who studies with me. She visits here sometimes to help out with the greenhouses. In fact, she should be here today. She wanted to work at the seed house. That's the small greenhouse across from the large glass house.
We noticed that a part of the...
At the moment I'm just dealing with the storage room. I don't know much.
I imagine that your relationship with your father may have been a strained one.
Yes. I cannot say that he was a kind man, for he never listened to me at all. He forced me to work here. But now, after his death, I've been pondering it over. Perhaps he wasn't so wrong about me after all. I have to follow his path, and I have to manage Kew Gardens. And I can do it. I can be as good as any other who works here.
Would you please tell us about Martin Hamish, the deputy director?
Well, I have to tell you that Mr. Hamish is not and has never been the deputy director of Kew Gardens. My father would not have tolerated it.
Indeed? Well, that is most interesting. He told us that he was.
Yes, because he believes that the management should be passed down to him now that my father is dead. But in actual fact, Mr. Hamish only has the honour of being the garden's longest-serving employee. In fact, if we are to think logically at all, it should be me who takes over the management of Kew Gardens.
Do you not have a good relationship with Mr. Hamish?
I suppose so. But we have very little in common. Mr. Hamish loves his plants and Kew Gardens, and I cannot say that I share his passion.
I see. And how was his relationship with your father?
Oh, he hated my father. It was obvious. He would be furious whenever my father boasted of Kew Gardens in the newspapers or at conferences. He was convinced that my father was stealing all of the credit for himself. But my father treated Mr. Hamish in the same way as he treated anyone. Dismissively. With indifference.
Do you hold the keys to all of these locked doors?
Yes, you can have them. But I cannot give you the keys to the cloakroom. The employees' effects are private. I am sure you understand.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
That is rather curious.
Just be careful with the plants during...
Locked. A photograph of Montague Dunn and Reynold Hamish. Champagne. Montague Dunn had good taste. French wine. A remarkable vintage. Newspapers discussing Kew Gardens.
See, I always get confused on this one because it's like you gotta follow it in a certain pattern. It's not a difficult puzzle to figure out, guys, but it's just you gotta get the rhythm down. There we go.
I suggest that we don't tell Miss Margaret White about this document. Locked. This is a table for experiments. It resembles my own.
Only this one is kept in good order, Holmes.
Look at Watson trying to be a savage.
A phonograph used for voice recording. Remarkable.
Yes, this is quite a modern laboratory. I don't hear anything. I don't hear anything.
And it seems clear from these multiple experiments that plants do respond to their environment and have a form of consciousness. Margaret White, February 1895. Report number 245.
Study report.
Martin Hamish's perception of the plants. The notion of communication in the plant world has long been considered marginal, yet I remain convinced that some plants do indeed transmit chemical signals in the event of attack.
A study report by Martin Hamish. A botany book. This student's book belongs to Albert. Chemicals, a sufficient quantity for some serious experiments. There was a bottle here. It left behind a trace of the substance that pervaded the laboratory. Several drops of the substance.
Gold dust? Good heavens. What's it doing here?
The gold is almost immune to chemical attacks, so it may be a valuable auxiliary for various experiments.
But why would anyone perform such experiments in a botanical garden?
The bottle is no longer here, but it is possible to detect a faint scent. We need a good nose.
Yep. Gonna have to fetch fetch Toby.
Gloves, waterproof aprons, everything one might need for self-protection.
Do they grow dangerous plants here?
It appears as though the protective equipment is missing from here. Such masks are generally worn when dealing with toxic chemicals. Locked.
Holmes, Albert Dunn didn't give us the key to this door.
It does not matter. We will open it.
Hey, first try.
Open.
Alright,
Miss White's locker.
let's sniff through everybody's personal crap and see
A draft
what
of the
they
letter
got.
that Miss White sent to her parents. Apparently, Miss White is a capable student. A vanity purse. These jewels must be...
So we're starting to get a generalized idea. Oh, didn't want to do that. So we're starting to get a generalized idea of what's kind of going on with everybody. We're putting some pieces together here, guys. I wonder, okay, so we've looked at Miss White's. Let's look at Albert's.
Albert's locker. Young Albert, standing with a woman in front of London University.
All right.
Specialist articles on shipyards and ship construction. Albert Dunn has a great passion for shipbuilding and the sea. A rejection letter from the British Royal Naval College.
I'm not even finished with that yet. Oh wait, nope, I guess I am finished. Never mind.
Martin Hamish's locker.
Okay, let's see what dirty laundry you have.
Martin Hamish studied chemistry. Interesting. A review on rare and exotic plants. Martin Hamish has written several pieces.
Oh.
Father and I, Kew Gardens.
Alright. We're getting somewhere.
Mr. Hamish, was someone from your family connected with Kew Gardens?
Family? No. I'm the only one with a passion for botany.
Liar.
I do not think so. This photograph of you and your father at Kew Gardens suggests the opposite.
But you have no right to.
Do tell us more about your father.
He was, indeed, the greatest botanist of his time in the British Empire. He worked together with Montague Dunn until the end of his life. He brought me in at the age of 12.
Did he get on well with Mr. Dunn?
No, I couldn't say that. They expanded Kew Gardens together, that was all. And it was all my father's work. But Dunn always lived the high life.
So Mr. Dunn was not helping your father?
Oh, yes, he provided the financial support. And as far as he was concerned, that fulfilled his role. But the worst of it was, he declared himself as the master of Kew Gardens. Fame meant nothing to my father. So it was easy for Mr. Dunn to take all the credit.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
I keep always, because triangle, since I'm playing this on PS4, triangle opens up your deduction board, and I keep forgetting. Oh, never mind. I guess we got no more clues. Because, see, like, R1 right there says open up the clues, but I don't pay attention to that when I'm actually doing the deduction board. So sometimes I'll hit the button and I'll be like, wait a minute, what? Okay, let's go in here.
These young plants must be delicate if they are kept in the nursery.
Do some scrolling around.
A thesis. written by Martin Hamish. A glasses case. It is empty. This area serves as Martin Hamish's office. We can see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room from this window. This poster is for an exhibition that Martin Hamish was directing, but it had nothing to do with Kew Gardens. This certificate belongs to Martin Hamish. He won a horticultural competition.
I don't want to go back to that.
An award presented to Martin Hamish for Best Grower of the Year. A master's degree diploma. It belongs to Martin Hamish.
Anybody else getting the vibe that this guy's a bit of a brainiac and that he's got a chip on his shoulder? I most certainly am. Alright, let's pick up the pace a little bit. Where are we
The
now?
seeds of plant species are stored here. Locked.
Look, Holmes, this charming lady must be Miss White. She's entering the seed house.
Colonial Seed house. Ventilation system. A map. Farmhouse. Water. Dry. There is a smell of burning.
There is a smell of burning?
A ventilation system. Open.
Let your secrets reveal themselves.
Good day to you, miss. You have some very beautiful plants here.
Why, thank you, sir. And good day to you, too. But...
Oh, I do beg your pardon. My name is Dr. John Watson. This is my good friend, Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
I am honored to make your acquaintance, gentlemen. My name is Margaret White. Excuse me, but are you Sherlock Holmes, the great detective?
Yes, I am he.
What a pleasure to see you here at Kew Gardens. Are you working on a case?
Yes, a theft of plants that took place here a few days ago after their most recent exhibition.
Oh, yes, of course. I quite forgot about that.
Oh, it's quite understandable that you might forget about the theft of the plants, miss, after the tragedy that took place here.
Yes. The director was a truly good man. It is such a terrible misfortune.
Would you happen to know why part of the colonial collection was cleared?
No, I have never been there.
Do you work here?
Part-time only. I am a biology student at the London University. I attend the same classes as the son of Mr. Montague Dunn. That is how I found my chance to work here for part of my thesis, you see. It is a great honor.
How well did you know Mr. Montague Dunn?
He was a master, a great leader. I saw him almost as a spiritual father.
He had an exceptional nature?
Oh, yes, indeed. He was always so active and so optimistic, and very nice to me. Although he could behave harshly towards his son.
Why so?
He loved his son dearly and wanted the very best for him. It made him extremely demanding. Albert, who is naturally shy, suffered because of it.
Most of the doors in Kew Gardens are locked. Do you have a key to this room?
Oh, yes. Albert gave me a set of duplicate keys. He agreed I might carry out my studies without disturbing him. It is only temporary.
Thank you, miss. None of the 3 people who work at Kew Gardens know why half of the colonial collection was cleared. So, someone is lying. It is obvious. This is one of the outlets. From here, we are unable to see the interior of the colonial collection room. Materials for college study. They belong to Albert. A book about ships. Nothing at all to do with plants. These leather gloves are new and of this place, sir. This symbol is from the Divine Syndicate. A protective mask. Someone set it alight, but it did not burn. The remains of a picture frame. A door handle? Why would anyone throw such a thing in the fire? The door handle to the colonial collection and that of the fireplace are made of the same material. A broom handle was half burned. The plants were set alight fairly recently. Some have not completely burned. These flower pots are beautiful. They are intended to be used for exhibition. The symbol is... water lip.
The plot thickens, guys.
I perceive that you are passionate about the Royal Navy.
Passionate? No, not really. I like ships, that is all.
Are you quite sure? You do not seem to be so interested in plants.
It's difficult, that's all. My future is here. It has never been about anything else.
And yet I know that the Royal Naval College rejected your application.
Ah, you truly are as clever as they say. Yes, that's correct. And in fact, my father was strongly against the idea. He did his best to ruin my plans, although I almost did succeed. But my dreams were shattered, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
Starting to connect the dots, guys. Okay, let's go search the archives, grab Toby, come back to Kew Gardens. We're putting the pieces together, guys. We're getting this figured out. So far from what it sounds like, there's a bit of a beef going on.
Here it is. The Divine Syndicate is not a supplier to Kew Gardens. Besides, there is no address here. Here it is. And here is the Divine Syndicate's address. Perfect. It is time to find out what they have against Montague Dunn. Here it is. Come on, Toby. We have some work for you to do. Let us go to Kew Gardens. Let us take Toby to the laboratory. He will pick up the scent of this mysterious substance. Search, Toby. Search. Congratulations, Toby. Now let us see what you have found. This is the bottle that was used in the laboratory. It was buried here. There is still some liquid remaining in the bottle, with gold flakes. A tiny caterpillar. Not surprising to see one in a garden, but at the bottom of a bottle. If I go there, Toby will wait for me in the cab.
This place is beautiful, Holmes. Its atmosphere is remarkably soothing.
Let us find someone who could help us.
Well, okay then.
Fragments of a flower pot. It fell down here. A fragment of a flower pot. The Kew Gardens symbol. Locked.
Oh, I know it's bad, but let me do it one more time.
Good day to you, sir. My name is Sherlock...
I am exalting the sap. A while can you wait? From the trace of elements and, moreover, from the quality of the ambient geotropism it depends. Therefore, please, mind my gravitropism. Its balance. Do not disturb.
Disturbed is most definitely the word.
There. Completed is the symbiosis. Welcome you are. To introduce myself I shall. I am the Green Grand Mystic.
The Green Grand Mystic himself.
This is me. Who am I speaking to?
We are two gentlemen who are extremely interested in the vegetation philosophy that is advocated by this establishment.
Listening to you, I am.
Do you have friends?
None. Not worthy they are.
Nevertheless, we have seen Kew Gardens flower pots in your yard.
What? Our sacred place you permitted yourself to search? Sacrilege.
No, really now. There was a theft of plants at Kew Gardens a matter of days ago.
No. Those plants were ours. They had stolen them from us.
How so?
Their director, Dump, I believe.
Done.
Yes, that's what I said. He borrowed from us 3 of our sisters for the exhibition at his green fly-infested gardens. But he never gave them back to us. Excuses and imbecility. So we went in and saved them.
I see. So, if you stole those rare plants from them, then it means... Ah, I get it. Bravo, Holmes. I think the case is solved.
No, we did not steal. We saved. Well, as a matter of fact, we were unable to find our 3 plants.
I beg your pardon. And yet you took all of the exotic plants from the stand.
They had disappeared. It was the least we could do. They stole our sisters, and so we stole theirs.
We should like to take a look around, to immerse ourselves in the wisdom that emanates from here.
It is a school of anastomosis, the divine scholastic syndicate for vegetation veneration and meditation. You may say, the divine syndicate, glory to the eukaryotic. Only true devotees, those whose hearts are ready to spermatophize in sharing of knowledge, are permitted to physically enter our vegetable kingdom and its wisdom. And to be permitted, you must earn it. Yes.
Green Grand Mystic, we are ready to become devotees and gain access to your temple.
What is the name of our Lord, our God King?
Our God King's name is Treewan, Green Grand Mystic.
Oh, la. Good. I like you. Here is the holy key to the wisdom place. Holy donation can you make whenever you so wish.
Thank you so much.
I pray you to taste our fertilizer substance. From the burdens of life it helps to free.
But of course.
Raw sap, it is called. It is near the entrance.
Well, we will leave you to your meditation.
Well, on that note, guys, I think I'm gonna stop right here. I have no idea. I have no words for that. So with that, guys, I think I'm gonna stop the stream right here. I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode of Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishment, and I will see you guys in the next video. Or the next one, whichever.